Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do number 4 from your rref worksheet. I'm not actually going to use rref, and you'll see why as I go through this. Partially when I'm doing this one, it's a little bit different. You don't have to use rref to solve all word problems, and this one actually works really well as one that we can solve without really using that feature of the calculator. So I've got 3 things that we're working about. If you need to pause in and read the problem, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. I've got 3 things we're working with: bike time, run time, and swim time. So I've got B, I've got R, I've got S. Those are my 4 or my 3 equations that I'm working with. The first line that I'm going to do, or that I'm going to take, is that one. I bike, well, you bike 5 times as far as you run. So this is one of those that I want you to test your numbers after you get it. I'm going to do it wrong first, and I want you to see why it's wrong. You bike 5 times as far as you run. It's easy to interpret that as 5b is equal to r. Problem with this, let me plug in some numbers. If I plug in r equal to 1, if I plug in b equal to 1, then that means that r, well, if I follow this, b is 1, that makes r equal to what? Well, 5. What if I make b equal to 3? Then that makes r equal to, well, 3 times 5, 15. So if you look at this sentence up top, it says you bike 5 times what you run. So if you look here, the running is what turns out, if you look here, the running is what turns out to be 5 times the biking. So try to test your numbers or your equations with real numbers and see if they work. So since we can see that that doesn't work, you should see that it's got to be b is equal to 5r. Notice if r is 1, then that makes b equal to 5, right? If r is 2, b is 10. So the bike, that sentence up top that's underlined in red, the bike is 5 times as far as the run. Anyway, hope that helped you a little bit with that. I'm going to pause it for a moment. Okay, here we are. We're back. So, bike is equal to 5r. That's what we kind of worked out there. The next sentence, you run 4 times as far as you swim. So I'm not going to go through the whole explanation with this again, but what I get out of that is run is 4 times the swim. Sorry, my S's look like 5s. Anyway, so the last piece that they give us, I'll underline it here. I don't need that. Boink. Train a total of 200 miles, right? So that means that the, I'm going to write it over here, the B plus the R plus the S, try to make it look like an S, is 200. Okay. If you look here, I've got R is 4S. Here, I've got R. So why don't I make that 4S? Problem, I don't have B in terms of S. I have B in terms of Y. Or sorry, got myself there. I got B in terms of R. But here it tells me R is 4S. So I'm going to do with this equation, we write it down here in white, B is 5R. Well, I know that R is 4S. So I know that B is 5 times 4S, which if I multiply that in, that gives me 20S. So what I can do is, remember this is B, I can put that in right there. I can replace that with a 20S. So what that gives me is 20S plus 4S plus S is equal to 200. That, on the left side, I got 25 S's. Oh gosh. 25 times S. And that's equal to 200. Divided by 25, I get S is equal to 8. I'm going to scroll down a hair here. I guess I'll leave it there. Alright, so S is equal to 8. Now, what I'm going to do is go back to this. Oops, I want to go to blue. Go back to this, and to this, right? No, to this, to figure out the run and the bike. I know that the question's only asking for how many miles did you swim, but it's good to check it and make sure it works, okay? So, R is 4S, 4 times 8. 4 times 8, R is 32. So, check. Did we run? I'm looking at this sentence here. Did we run 4 times what we swam? Well, swim is 8, run is 32. That's 4 times. Good to go there. So now, what is it right here? The B is 20S. So that gives me B. If I do 20 times 8, I get 160. I can check that. It says that I'll circle it in blue again. The bike right here is 5 times the run. So is 160, is 32 times 5, 160? Yep, it is. So check, that's good. And we check to make sure that this was good. So, and you could also check, add them all up. I think they're pretty obviously. These give me 40, 40, and 160 is 200. So it adds to that 200. So, the swim, it's an 8 mile, is that right? Yep. Swim. That's the answer. Hopefully that helps a little bit.